morning. It is so good to see you all here today. It is wonderful to be back together again. I am Jane McLean, and I am your podium assistant. And in the beginning was the one presence of the undivided, unmanifest, pure spirit of life, light, and love. In its generosity, it shared itself, its consciousness, and its love in the visible form of creation. We acknowledge this presence within us and as us. The creative energy of the divine feminine and masculine expressing in all of our giftedness and creativity. We acknowledge this in our companion, Mother Earth, and in all sentient beings. This universal presence in everything we call the Christ. We light this candle as a visible reminder of the Christ presence, expressing in, as, and through us in this present moment now. It is the truth. Let us own it.
Please join us for Put a Little Love in Your Heart. And if you would stand and maybe dance, the dance floor is open. We're finally together in real life. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. You want the world to know we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see, wait and see. Whoa, whoa. Take a good look around, and if you're feeling down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide kindness will be your guide, put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart each and every day. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. There's got to be a way. Put a little love in your heart. Don't you think it's time? Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Last one. Put a little love in your heart. Thank you for singing.
Ooh. Just hold that right there. Just put your hands right up there and put a big smile on in your face, because when you smile, you open your heart. All right, awesome. So, welcome to Unity Spiritual Center. Woo! We are a spiritual community dedicated to co-creating joyful lives through positive words, deeds, actions. And our music ministry presents Ray and Diane. Yes. And if you are here for the very first time, please raise your hand. And welcome everybody back. We want you to know that whoever you are and wherever you might be on your spiritual path, you are always welcome here. And thank you, all of you, for being here with us. And we have a few announcements. Tuesday, the movers and shakers are meeting at 5:30. Okay, so if you want to be involved in a committee that helps things to rock and move and have special events, come to this meeting. Also look in your bulletin for the insert of the vision board. The February 20th, Malin will be our leader in helping you to create a vision board for 2022. And also in your bulletin, if you look at your events and programs, you will see that we are having a membership class. It's going to be 4 weeks starting on the 27th of February, Sundays after church from 11:30 to 1 p.m. So you may want to pack yourself a little sack lunch so you can have something to eat. And this is a class for new membership, but also if you haven't been in a membership class for a long time, we could call this a renewal class so that you can come back and kind of renew your connection with unity and what does unity stand for, what are the unity basics. And so I think it'll be really an interesting class to come and join. We are using the Lessons in Truth by Dr. H. Emily Cady, a real classic. That will be really wonderful. And then something unusual happened at our church in the year 2020, and we had a film filmed here. We had a film production company here, and the movie is called Apex, and one of our members has purchased a copy of it so that we have it here at the church that you can check out. It's just fun to watch it and go, oh yeah, I know where that is. Oh yeah, I saw that. Oh, cool, you know. So you will see parts of the church in the movie and also the outside for us. So
Who's in the movie, Jane?
oh, it's Bruce Willis and Neil McDonough, okay? So it's definitely an action movie. So just breathe through it and just stay calm and just enjoy going, yeah, I know that place. Yeah, I've seen that place. Ooh, the technology they're using in our church is really awesome. Okay, so take a deep breath and let it go. Take that deep breath down into your abdomen and then slowly let it out. So we have gotten centered so that we can now say our 5 principles of unity. So let's say them together. God is good and present in all things. The holiness of God is my own true nature. I am creating my experiences by how I think. My thinking is guided by my daily affirmative prayers and affirmative actions. I follow and am sustained by these values in every way, every day, and so it is. Now, as we prepare for our time of reflection and meditation, please hold the words of this meditation hymn quietly in your heart.
Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the gentle night to you. Moon and stars pour their healing light on you. Deep peace to you. Deep peace to you. Deep peace to you. Deep peace to you.
And we stay in that resonance of that vibration of deep peace and take that cleansing breath in now. And as you let it out, let out the activities that took so much time this morning, the energies of the morning, the getting ready, the driving over. Just let all that go now. And with another cleansing breath, we breathe in peace and we let go of to-do lists for this afternoon and things that we're going to be involved with, or football games or other kind of activities. They're all there. They'll be here later. But for this now moment and this now time, we want to just relax into our chairs. Just take that breath of peace and sink a little deeper into the chair. Feel the seat holding you, your feet firmly on the ground, and lean back just a little bit into the chair that holds you. Notice that the chair totally supports your body. Now imagine and just feel that you're sinking deeper into this place, and with a warm light that fills your inner being and warmth that fills you throughout. And you know that this state of peace, this state of relaxation, this state of being able to just lean back and be held. And you might imagine that the seat itself is like the field of spirit, that the Holy Spirit, if you will, the gentle hands are holding your back, that this field of love has you. You can lean back into this place and you are safe, you are secure, you are empowered, you are filled with the energy of spirit, that you're allowed to lean back so that as energies or fears or seeming conflicts or things that leave you disappointed or anxious, you can lean back into the arms of spirit. And you can just see these things pass through your field of vision. And lean back knowing that indeed you are the very essence of the divine that lives through you and breathes through you and supports you and in all ways wants the very best for your being and your becoming. You lean back into the arms of Spirit who says, I've got you. And in times of difficulty, you will know the words to speak. You will know the activities to do. You will know the way to show up. You lean into Spirit. And she says, I've got you. And when there's difficult things, you can speak truth. You can speak truth in a way that's nonviolent, in a way that's kind, but also in a way that's clear. You can speak with clarity to your truth as you see it. And if there's any anxiety about that, you lean back into Spirit, who's got you and says, yes, you can show up. Yes, I want you to show up. Yes, you are empowered to show up as the beautiful person you are, as the fullness of the divine that is your birthright. You can show up as that very essence of the individual, sacred, beautiful, called, empowered, and Spirit has you. And so with a clean breath, lean back into that Spirit, that energy that always has you, and just relax into this, into a moment of silence. Just lean into Spirit in a moment of silence. And you can trust that in any time, in any circumstance, in any place of fear or anxiety or challenge, you can always lean into the arms of Spirit and show up to be the fullness of who you're called to be. It is your birthright. So wiggling your fingers a little and maybe lifting your shoulders and dropping them. Wiggle your toes. And then gently, when you're ready, come back to this base, empowered, refreshed, and once again reminded of who we truly are.
You say you want to get somewhere. What you gonna do? Watch the world go by from a corner in the room. I know it's none of my business, but there's something I need to say. If you could see you the way I see you, you'd start flying on your own. Step aside and let your light shine. Let your love show. It's a short ride down a long road. When the rains come and the winds blow, let your light shine wherever you go. This world is ready and waiting for you to break on through. It's time to recognize, realize that you're the only one like you. Step on up, step into your greatness. Don't be afraid, there's a place for you to rise up to. No one else can do what you do. Get out of the way and let your light shine. let your love show. It's a short ride down a long road. When the rains come and the winds blow, let your light shine wherever you go. Let your light shine, let your love show. It's a short ride down a long road. When the rains come and the winds blow, let your light shine wherever you go. Let your light shine.
Thank you. Yeah, air bassing and air pianoing on that one. Yeah, it's good. Hey, it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. So I had to do a talk on love, right? So I was thinking of great quotes about love. You know, there's when you go, okay, the topic is love. Where do you start on that one, right? So there's a great saying that Augustine, who is this great theologian from about in the 300s AD down in Africa, and he said, love God and do as you will. And now, if you go online and Google this, you will see there's, zillions of pieces that discuss, well, what does that really mean? And, there's this essence of it that if we're really loving God and we're aligned with that essence and that we're aligned with the energies of the divine, then we in turn we are loving according to the divine. But with all respect to Augustine, I'm going to change this a little bit. Of course. And, because then it's fun. Love God and then allow God to do as God wills through us. It's slightly different, and I'm hoping that captures the essence of what he was saying, but it certainly captures the essence of what I want to say today. Love God and allow the divine energy to flow through us as it will. And to demonstrate this, I have a story for you. And it's a story that comes from the Gospel of John, and it's basically the whole part of John chapter 5. I've told part of this story before, I don't remember, maybe a couple months ago. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the metaphysical interpretation of this story before I tell you the story, so you can kind of see what's happening, at least in my mind, as we tell the story. And in this story, Jesus goes to Jerusalem, and they're in Jerusalem, meaning a highest state of consciousness. So whenever you hear Jesus or somebody goes up to Jerusalem as a city of peace, this place of, now I'm resonating, now listen to this, because this is what happens in this highest state of consciousness, of connection, and of awareness. And he's in this place that says it's got a pool of Bethesda, and it's got five porches, and these are porches that are held up by pillars. So thanks to the artistry of Janae, we have 5 pillars here that mimic these areas of these 5 porches. And what's interesting about these 5 porches, and what Charles Fillmore says, is when you look at these areas, these 5 porches and 5 pillars, it's interesting, 5, right? 5 senses. What you're dealing with is an area of sense consciousness, okay? So you're in an area where it's all about what can I see, what can I smell, what can I touch, what is reality, relative reality, of course, based on the 5 senses, sense consciousness. What we think is real, irregardless of what is fully reality in the infinite consciousness, in the totality of possibility, in the mind of God, in this whole area that stands outside of this area of sense consciousness, but lies within it because we are in the world, but not of the world, because we're also part of the world of spirit. We are spiritual beings having a human experience in this realm of sense consciousness, but we are spiritual beings that extend beyond just the sense consciousness. So you see the metaphor. Okay, there's the metaphysical underpinning. And the story goes like this. So there was a festival, and Jesus goes up to this festival, and he went to Jerusalem. and he comes to an area where there is a pool, and it's at Bethesda. And it's an area where there's 5 porches, porticos. They have pillars all around them. And when he comes there, he goes in and he sees that by the pool there's all sorts of people, blind and lame and paralyzed. And he looks around, and one man had been there for 38 years. And the problem was, when the way the story goes is an angel would come down and stir the water in the pool, and the first person to get in the pool would be healed. So Jesus knew when he was up in Jerusalem and looking in at the situation that person had been there a long time. And so he comes in and he says to the person, "Would you like to be healed?" And he says, "Well, the problem is I don't have anybody to pick me up and move me into the water when the water's stirred, and so I can't get healed because no one will help me and I can't get there." And Jesus just sort of stops right there. And he says, "Pick up your mat and walk." And so the man picks up his mat. He starts walking around. Now the story goes on. Then there was some leaders of the law, and they saw this, and it was a Sabbath. And they said, "Hey, you can't be walking around with your mat on a Sabbath. That's against the rules." And the man says, "Well, the person who told me to pick up my mat, he told me to do it, so I'm just telling what he did." And they said, "Well, who is that?" He says, "I don't know," because the person had left the area. So Jesus enters back in and he finds him. And he says, "Hey, by the way, you need to stop your sinning, i.e. wrong thinking. So you need to think right, or something worse might befall you." So the man goes and he talks to the people, the leaders. He says, "Oh, it was that guy Jesus who did it." And so they look at Jesus, they find him, they chase him down. And he said, "Hey, you can't do that. That's against the rules." And they began to persecute him. And he said, "Don't you know that I am just doing what I see the Father doing? The Son does what the Father tells. I only do what's assigned me. I can only work by the energy of the Father flowing through the Son, and that's what I do. I can only work as the Father is flowing through the Son, and then that's what I do." And here the story goes on, and there's more discussion. I can only work by the Father, metaphorically meaning divine energy, divine source energy, the divine essence, the divine ground of being, the very essence. And in unity, we might say divine mind, divine source, divine presence, divine energy, idea, mind creates this idea, and then it expresses in the material world, which is the idea of the Son. So mind, idea, expression, source comes up with the thoughts of truthfulness and the mind of truthfulness and the ideas of truthfulness that then can express in the material world. Now, here's the challenge. There's a couple interesting people going on here. The person who's healed, first off, says, from his perspective, in sense consciousness, he has created these walls around him, right? Like these 5 pillars, like these 5 porticles. And he's having a hard time seeing beyond what's possible. Well, what I see from my consciousness, and I'm caught here in this little box of my mind, that I have to have when the angel comes in and stirs the water, somebody has to come and put me in, and it's not happening, and I can't get healed. That's my world, very simple, and it's not working, And so he's what? He's paralyzed. Well, of course he's paralyzed. He just, in his mind, he's paralyzed and trapped in his own limited box of thinking. For many of us, we're in a class called Untethered Soul, and part of our reading this week was how we create a box, we create a house, and we close up the windows, and we want to be safe, and we want to be secure, and we want to not be challenged, and this guy, weirdly enough, this is my take on it, he kind of was comfortable with this story. Well, I can tell everyone that, well, it's not my fault, I'm a victim to this, and no one will move me, and the angel comes, but the angel doesn't help me, and no one else will help me, so here I am stuck, paralyzed, and I can't get in the water. And 38 years, he's telling himself the same story. And you go, what are you getting from that? Well, I'm safe, I'm here, and people bring me food. And apparently, if he's been there for 38 years, somehow it's working in some very limited way. And so he's staying in that comfort zone. And so in many ways, when you get this energy, this Christed energy, this spiritual energy that bursts in, now I imagine there could have been dozens or even hundreds of people around, but Jesus saw that person. Like he knew, you're ready. You're ready to hear another story. Maybe other people weren't quite ready yet, but you're ready. So I'm going to come and tell you, pick up your mat and walk. And then he heard the victim thing. Well, I can't because the angel... Yeah, no, pick up your mat and walk. But he was ready enough to change his mind, to change his story, to get a new way of thinking about it, to get a new perspective. And so he was able to, in this story, get up and move. Now, there's one way and then he goes, I don't even know how this happened. I don't even know where that guy is. Who told you to do that? I don't know, this guy. It didn't matter in the sense that he felt the energy of his own essence. He felt that breath of spirit, that mind, that divine spirit, that divine source, that divine energy that had this idea that was the truth idea of his fullness, of his wholeness, of his wellness, and asked him to stand up and move. And he started moving, and he started being able to see maybe beyond the bounds, and he's starting to maybe get out of the limits of his sense conscious, and he's starting to see, I just connected with something that was even more, and the windows are breaking down. And I love this idea of porticos in the story. It's like pillars, but there's space between them. There's windows. There's a place for spirit to move in. There's a place for some activity to happen. Already he's in a situation that leads to the possibility, like in all of our lives, the possibility that the divine essence, the divine source can blow right through and touch us and enliven the Christ essence of us so we can get out of whatever place it is in our lives where we're paralyzed, and we can move into a new way, into a new part of freedom, a new element of freedom that maybe we haven't experienced before. And then it comes in. Well, the fun is we've done this story here before a little bit, but there's more to this story because now we have this other person who's also kind of stuck. He's like, wait a second, you can't do this on a Sabbath. There's rules. Well, what is Sabbath metaphysically? This is the beauty of Sabbath. Sabbath is, and it's such a beautiful concept. We all need Sabbath, right? It's like stop being a human doing and being involved in all the stuff of your sense that the world and just be and open to that connectedness of source. Stop being so busy so you can breathe, take some time, and know the truth of us that we are human beings we're spiritual beings having this human experience, having this experience in incarnated world. And the incarnated world is not separate from the spiritual world. The incarnated world is part of and included of the entirety of the infinite consciousness that influences us in this world. So what we can do is stand here as human beings in this sacred space, knowing that it's sacred because it's part of the eternity of all things. And we want to connect with this. We want to harmonize with this. We want to resonate with this. We want to be in alignment with this. And one way to do it is Sabbath, meaning slow down, take a breath, meditate, contemplate, talk with others, stop all the work, and connect. Sabbath is this incredibly sacred thing. And the funny thing was, this master teacher, Jesus, did a lot of healings on the Sabbath. And metaphysically, of course he did. That makes all the sense. But again, there's people who were caught, well, Sabbath means this day, and here's the rules, and you can't do that. And they were like seeing it only in terms of a box. Whereas, and by the way, sometimes great concepts like Sabbath or meditation or contemplation or classes and all the spiritual practices, for me, I do need discipline. And I think most human beings, maybe you're different, but most human beings need, hey, why don't we just say Wednesday night at 6:30 we're doing this? Why don't we just say, we'll do Friday night at 6 to 10, we'll do a quiet time and turn off media and pray and connect and talk. Why don't we do something that actually is, for a discipline, we do put it in a time and space and put it on our calendar and we do it with other people. We're disciplined. No, that makes sense. As human beings, we need that. But it's when the discipline becomes more prominent than the truth of what's behind the discipline and what you're trying to get at the first place. Like, it was Sabbath stuff of of the Christ consciousness connecting to this energy of the divine that allowed the Spirit to walk in, that allowed this transformation, that allowed this person who was paralyzed to get over whatever was paralyzing him and to move and to breathe and to get out. And then in the end, they're all saying, well, how dare you? You're making yourself equal with God. And Jesus says, no. And it's really fun because in the Gospel of John, a lot of times he doesn't use I statements. He says, the Son only does what the Father is showing. And what the Father does, the Son copies, because the Son is obedient to the Father and does whatever the Father says. So is he talking conceptually? Is he talking about himself? Yes and yes. Because he understood his connection to the divine essence, which he called like Son to the Father. You could call it the servant to the master. You could call it the beloved to the center of all love, because it's not us that does it. Love God and then surrender to the will. Love God and then open up to the infinite possibilities of the divine mind that then wants to be the divine idea, which is all of us, the Christ of us, that Christ energy gets alivened. And then in this material world, in this sense consciousness, in this incarnate, beautiful, sacred reality that we just express in this myriad different ways of beautiful things. The fun of being here is we get to take this infinity of ideas and then we get to express them in like a million ways in our creativity, in our art, in our being mechanical, in our music, in our buildings, in our day-to-day activities, whether we do administration, we do we work with children, we raise kids. I mean, whatever it is we're doing, we're gardeners. We express that infinite amount of possibilities in this finite world, and then we get to see what happens. And it's so cool. It's so much, and it's just beautiful. And I mean, I told Janae we need 5 pillars of blue. Thank you, Janae. It's an expression, it's like, express it somehow. I don't know. And I came in and she had this. It's like, this is cool. Just express it in a way that it just comes from, opening up into the infinity of stuff. And then, bam, it comes and expresses in the world. And so I'll leave you with, isn't that a great story? I'll leave you with 3 things then. Or maybe more than 3, but it's always nice to say, like, what is this process? And since it's Valentine's Day, I'm going to say the first thing in this place of opening up to eternal love and being the very source of love that has this divine idea of love and then comes into the world and expresses as love in so many different ways. Relationship love, friend love, husband and wife love, community love, love of country, love of the world, love of nature, love of the earth, all these different ways of love that can be expressed in so many infinite ways. And how do we do it well? Then we do Sabbath, We slow down and we connect and we listen and we let it flow in and we let us connect and we break down these walls and we stop saying, this is love. Love can come outside. And we breathe that breath, Spirit and breath is the same word. Spirit and breath is the same word, the pneuma, this energy that comes in Greek and in Hawaiian and in so many cultures, aloha. It's like we honor the breath, it's that whole thing. It's just let the Spirit come in and breathe through it and tear down the walls. I mean, maybe our sense conscious can be more like the porticos, the pillars. Instead of a wall, a solid wall, maybe we can think of our reality more like with pillars, that we stand inside sense conscious, we stand inside our incarnate reality, but it's so easy, we just walk outside and we connect with infinity, with divine mind that then flows in and touches us at our very center, at our Christ essence, and we get to express this. And the first key is desire, because it's Valentine's Day, so we'll start with there. Desire. And the core desire of our soul is desire for this connection. We got to want it, I mean, the guy who's paralyzed at the pool is like, whatever. This is working for me. I'll sit here. Someone will bring me food. I'll whine and complain, and it's all good. But Jesus saw, this master teacher saw, he's ready. He's actually wanting someone else. He didn't say it to the other hundreds of people, but this person was ready. He was desiring to get up and do something different. I think he was bored of sitting there on that pole. He was wanting something new. And so the desire to break out, and Jesus, okay, you're ready? I got it. And now he said, don't sin anymore. And when I read things when they talk about sin, I always think of sin of like thinking wrong. Your thinking is so limited. He said, don't sin this way. Don't think in such limited ways, or something worse is going to happen to you. Open your mind, expand your capacity, think broader sacred thoughts. And you can move out of here into this broader realm where you can let divine ideas displace the crazy thinking that you had when you thought we were just captured in here, and live in that place where I'm manifesting the world, but I'm connecting to the Spirit and I'm manifesting the world, and it's just blowing through, and it's just so resonant. So you got to want it, right? First place, desire. And then after we want it, then we say, I'm going to make an intention. Something we talk about a lot is, I'm going to make that happen. How? Practice. Find the practices that work for you. And again, I know for a lot of us in the untethered soul, we talk a lot about practice and just what are we learning? What is the meditation, or how the various ways of meditating, or contemplating, or meeting as a group, or coming together on a Sunday, or just having sacred talks over coffee. That's one of my favorite practices. Coffee is important. And you have the sacred talks, and you resonate with others, and you listen to sacred music. And there's all these different ways of practice. Like, I intend that I'm going to keep my mind clear. I was listening to something on YouTube the other day, Karen Drucker song, and up pops the next thing, and it's some like action movie. I'm like, how does that get on my YouTube? It's like, not that. I don't intend to live that life of crazy, anxious, movies like that. Go forward to the next Karen Drucker song, and so back, what do we intend? How do we intend? And then once we desire it and we intend to do something about it, then we just surrender. We lean back into Spirit. We say, you got me. I will be the servant. With a humble heart, I will take it in and I will allow it to flow through me. And then we have this beautiful practice. And then we learn these different ways of a sacred connection, or Sabbath, or sacred times, or sacred practices that we can do that allows this new energy to come in. And we just, we surrender to it. And so, again, love you, Augustine, but instead of love and do what I will, love and then surrender to the energy of the divine that wants to work through our lives. And so I'll leave you for this, the happy Valentine's Day. It's all about love, but let's make it a love that, a love that just is a love of maybe not so much a love of action, but a love of inaction. A love that says, I'm going to let the divine energy flow through me. Instead of getting frenetic about what I'm going to do for Valentine's Day, listen. Just listen. We'll know. Listen to what the breath of Spirit says as it comes into our life. And then we'll celebrate love on this Valentine's Day in a way that maybe surprises us. Maybe that's unique. Maybe in a way that resonates with us in a new and powerful way. But let's not maybe be so much in control of it, and we'll just be the ones who allow it to flow through us and see what happens. See what happens. And if something flows through and informs you in a new and powerful and sacred way, let me know what it is, because these are great stories. And I'll let you know, and we can do this, right? Happy Valentine's Day. Right? Blessings.
Thank you. All right, if the ushers will please come forward. We've reached the part in our service where we get to practice the abundance that we are. We are always grateful for your generosity. Those of you at home, please go to our website, www.unitybellingham.org, and hit the donate button to share your gifts. As you take your offering to your heart, affirm quietly to yourself, I give freely and joyfully, for God is my source, and I have abundance in all areas of my life. Now please join with me in saying our offertory blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Hello. Okay, we're going to bring you a little tune about what just might happen if you love and let all unfold wondrously. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I woke up this morning, something was just not right. My poor head was a-throbbing, 'cause I tossed and turned all night. That unfamiliar feeling, it shook me up inside. The truth it was revealing, that a part of me had died. So I called my higher self. She gave me the news. She said, your life is just too good. You lost the right to sing the blues.
That broken down old Chevy that was eating me alive. I visualized a new car and now it's sitting in my drive. And those critics that said, hey, this simply can't be done. Well, I went ahead and did it anyway, and now I'm having so much fun. Everywhere I looked, I was running by the clues. You see, my life's so good, I've lost the right to sing the blues.
Well, I used to sing the blues 'cause I couldn't pay my rent. I used to sing the blues 'cause my money had all been spent. But how can I sing the blues now? I ain't got no reason why. I'm just hanging out with friends and not a cloud in the sky. So you won't find me wailing late at night in some smoky bar. You won't see me crying tears into my old guitar. I'm too busy cleaning my chakras. I'm chasing bad karma away. I'm fluffing up my aura. You know, this could take all day. Now that I'm enlightened, I've just gotta spread the news. When life gets this good, you lose the right to sing the blues.
You know, I used to sing the blues if a friend put me down. I even used to sing the blues when my wife would leave town. But what gives me the right to sing a mournful tune when I'm planning my vacation in sunny Cancun?
Well, now you've heard our story. You understand our pain. We're searching but not finding any reason to complain. Our stars are in alignment. Our house is all feng shuied. We're filled with peace and harmony. Even our taxes have been paid.
Really?
We've let go of the struggle, you know. We've paid our dues. When life gets this good, you lose the right to sing the blues.
Oh, that was the perfect song. I was thinking of that guy that got healed. That's his song now, right? And so we are grateful for these gifts, and we dedicate them to the work of Unity of Bellingham, to Unity Worldwide, to being a spiritual community, light bearers and light bringers to the greater city of Bellingham and to Whatcom County and to all we meet. So thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everybody online. And just to follow up on one announcement, on the new members class, and this is for people online, it's open to people who are local, but we have people who still are in the virtual or may for a long time or forever be in the virtual environment. So if you'd like to be a member, there's a way we can do it, even if you're a virtual member, and just call the office and talk to Janae, and we'll set you up with a way to take classes and be members as well. So hello, everyone out in the virtual world, and thank you, everyone, for being here today. Okay.
Testing. Please join us for I've Got Peace Like a River in My Soul. And feel free to stand up and dance. Okay, ready? 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. Got peace like a river in my soul. Love like the ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. Joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. Back to peace. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river in my soul. All right, bring it home. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Woohoo!
Let's better get the mic on. We're open this week. So 10:30, spiritual conversations with Jonathan, and untethered soul classes that Wednesday and Thursday. We're here. Tuesday still online. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Great. As we come to the end of our service, let's say our prayer of protection, and we do include everyone, everywhere. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And thank you for being with us today. We wish you a blessed week ahead, and we look forward to seeing you next week. So let's sing our peace song. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment